we go. And I'll just turn on the transcribe. Alrighty. Oh, I know what's missing. Hey, Glenn. Hey, Donna. Hey, Katie. We're missing slides, people. 1 minute.
Oh, it's quite nice seeing everyone's smiley faces.
Yeah, it is. Just on the Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. Can I put it into slideshow from here? I thought you could actually, start slideshow. There we go. And it's on slide 8. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? All right. Welcome, everyone. We are away. Welcome to our June mid-evening show with GEG. We're changing it up a wee bit tonight. We're having just a sole focus on gems, but we'll just get Rachel to get us started.
Kia ora koutou. Excuse me, I've still got a remnants of a so, inua tātou. Whakataka ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mā kina kina kiuta, kia mā taratara ki tai, he hiaki ana te atakura, he teo, he hoka, he hauhu, ti hei mauri ora.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, so I'm going to hand straight over to Carla, who is going to launch us into explaining just exactly what Gemini Gems are. Carla, I made you a co-host. If you're not able to change the slides, just let me know and I'll change them for you, but I did make you a co-host.
Oh, amazing. I'll see. I'll have a go, Donna, and we'll see how we go. So I'm here for absolute intro 101s. A lot of teachers that I've been speaking to have said that they've heard gems being thrown around, but they're not entirely sure what they are and how they're different. So I just wanted to start right at the beginning. So gems are custom AI assistants that you can create right inside Gemini. And so they're basically like a saved template for the AI tasks that you might want to do more than once. They live right in your left sidebar in Gemini like a bookmark, and you may need to expand your sidebar if you've got a mini screen like me sometimes in order to see them sitting there saved. And you can also find gems in your Google Drive, which is an exciting new way to access them as well. And why would we use gems? Instead of scrolling back through your old chats in Gemini, retyping your instructions multiple times, you can actually allow the gem to replicate the same rules, the same instructions multiple times, but ask it to do different things, keeping all of those rules in mind. So really great for repetitive tasks. This might be reading levels and so on. We'll talk more about some case examples later. Beautiful, Donna. I can make the screen bigger. I can't go to the next slide. I'm sorry. So I'm a big fan of an analogy or a metaphor. Those of you that know me know that storytelling is my jam. So I wanted to think about, well, what's the difference between Gemini and gems in a way that would be memorable? So I like to think about Gemini being the supermarket. So it's a giant pack and save. We don't have one of those in Alexandra. I love when I get to go to one. Loads of ingredients. Every time you want to go and get your dinner, you need to walk up and down the aisles, gather the ingredients, get home, look up the recipe, and then decide what you're going to make. A gem is more like a meal kit delivered to your door. The ingredients have already picked out. The measurements are already done. Vegetables are already chopped. And the instructions are there waiting for you. You don't have to go searching for them. You just start cooking. So the other question that I was asking when Rach, Donna and I were talking about running this session was, what about deciding when we use a gem or when we use Notebook LM? So I thought this was a really cool consideration to make when you're making that decision. So if you're using a gem, what the AI is going to do is it's going to read your rules, your instructions before answering your prompt. On the other hand, Notebook LM is going to read your documents before it answers your prompt. So it's depending what you want it to use initially. Both of these tools still have generative AI functions and features, which means they will still use reasoning, but this is what they will look at first before answering your prompt. So when do we use which? That's a really funny way of using that sentence. I'll continue. So we use Gemini Gems when you want to consistently create an output using your rules. And we use Notebook LM when we want to limit your responses. I wish it was based only, Michael, but based mainly on your sources. We have learnt that Notebook LM grounds itself in your sources, but not exclusively. And a way to be able to have it more focused on your sources is to ask it to only use the sources you've selected. So a gem could work really well if you were doing weekly pānui to your whānau in your school-specific friendly tone using specific language traits, templates, structures, so that you're just putting in the different pieces of information you want to include. GEM works really well to rewrite an article to match a specific reading group's level that you've already inputted, particularly if you want to utilize certain high frequency words or you want to be able to extend to where a group is at. Another Gemini gem that I've seen that I thought was really cool was just using it as a question generator. So you've spent some time building a really high quality prompt that is going to create great discussion. It's going to have retrieval and inference and critical thinking questions from any text. And so you can input that component or part of the text or link to the text, and the gem will act as a question generator. So what about when would we use Notebook LM on the other hand? So Rachel and I have been doing this for a long time. I know Donna is very skilled at this too, just putting the new curriculum documents in, asking it questions about expectations, progressions, and changes, asking it to compare different focus areas within some of the key changes that are coming in place. I know when before the coalition government this time made their own changes, I would pull the old and the new curriculum documents into Notebook LM and ask for direct comparison tables. The other thing I use Notebook LM a lot for is uploading collections of research articles, often on similar themes, but not always, and asking it to compare findings, asking it about different sample sizes and methodology, asking it where the similarities are and if there are key themes emerging in different articles. Some of them can get a bit heavy sometimes. And then within your own school accounts, given that the information is protected when you're using a school account, there would be the opportunity to upload your ERO reports or strategic plans, develop your annual plans, to just identify some common areas needing to be addressed at different time points throughout your year, or some that could be used for discussion in your staff meetings. And then shamelessly stolen with credit from the fabulous Phil. This was a slide that he shared at EdTech, just thinking about the spectrum of AI in your data. And I was lucky enough to jump on a session that he was running today, which is really cool. And one of the things he does really well was just to think about how we can consider the different tools. So Notebook LM, your private research assistant citing mainly your sources. GEMS, a tailored AI expert for specific tasks or workflows, and then Gemini, your creative partner, not your replacement, for brainstorming and general queries. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, that was awesome, Carla. Thank you. I love some of those ideas of different ways that you can use gems, but also that specific intentional thinking behind why would we use a gem. So really understanding what our reason is and how it's going to help us before we dive in. Before we, I'm going to stop sharing in a moment, and Rachel's going to share, and she's going to do a demo for us. Does anyone have any questions around when you might use a gem or the purpose of using a gem? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or feel free to put it in the chat, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Okay, Rich, I think it sounds like we're good to go for you to carry on and share your screen. And she's going to do a live demo. So she's going to,
Which is always,
cross your fingers.
It's always the biggest mistake of presenting, right, is doing a live demo. But anyway, we'll give it a crack. Just for those people that, can you, if you're in the call, obviously, because we're recording as well, can you give me a thumbs up if you've never created a gem? So use the little emojis at the bottom. Give me a thumbs up if you've never, choice. Awesome. Okay, this is going to be a really super quick, hopefully live, error-free demo. Let's give it a whirl to talk you through how to create a gem. Okie dokie. So here we are. I'm just going to move you guys out of the way. So here we go. I'm inside Gemini here. Here's all of my stuff. Yours might look slightly different to mine because I have a pro version. But over here, we've got gems down at the bottom of the top part. So we're just going to click on gems. It's going to take me to gems. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have access to this. I have access to the Google Labs. So I have already some pre-made gems, which are pretty amazing. And then when I scroll down, I can either edit any of those or create one from here. But most of you should have access to this here, the Gem Manager. So you will already have some pre-made ones here. When the Storybook Gem came out, I think that was a game changer for a lot of people. I know I have talked to a lot of Senkos and RTLBs and LSCs around creating social stories using Storybook. So that is a fantastic one to have a look at. So let's just quickly have a look at a pre-made gem. Oh, I don't want to actually, here we go. There's an example for you. It's creating a customized picture book. I've got a couple of examples here. One that I used with a kura kaupapa school because they wanted to see how fantastic Te Reo Māori was inside Storybook, and it was pretty good. They gave me the thumbs up. They said, yeah, it's not quite 100% accurate, but they knew the gist of the story and they thought the kids would be able to understand it, so it's fantastic. So back in here, oh, excuse me, you can create your own storybooks and you can just interact with this just like you would with Gemini. So that one is one that's already created. Oh, no, why is my computer not wanting to work? Let's go back to gems. Okay. Okay, so to create a new gem, all you do is click on new gem. You'll see some of mine already here. I do make up stupid names for some of mine, like Mabel the Maths Missus or Doris the Decodable Doctor. You can make up silly names too if you like. So let's go to new gem. And the first thing you do is give your gem a name. So for me, currently at the moment, I'm teaching Year 8 English. So I might do a Year 8 English planner. The description of what I want my gem to do is basically I want it to help me plan a unit. Okay. Unit planning. And then here is where you're going to give it a whole lot of instructions. But before I get into the instructions, because it's going to take a little while to put all of those in, down here is what I want to draw your attention to, giving your gem some knowledge. So what I want to add to here is the current Year 8 curriculum. Okay, so I'm going to upload a file. Oh, choice, Rainbow Wheel of Death. That's always handy. See what I mean? I'm going to add the English, Year 8 English curriculum here. And in here, let's hope that I have the text already pasted. Yes, here we go. So when you create a gem, it's always good to give it a lot of information. So I've said that they're an expert learning designer and collaborative co-pilot for a Year 8 English teacher in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Always tell them where you are. I wanted to design engaging, accessible and rigorous learning experiences that align with the New Zealand curriculum. And I wanted them to strictly adhere to the following principles in every single one of my responses. So the pedagogical foundations of UDL, I'm a big advocate for that. I'm using the Google ecosystem, cultural responsiveness in Te Ao Māori. The strict boundary that I wanted to give this is you must never use AI to draft or generate karakia, because I know lots of other people use AI for different reasons and it does that sort of stuff, which is not appropriate, but that's a whole other TED talk. So terminology and tone, I wanted it to get rid of everything American and only use New Zealand spelling and terminology. And the output, structuring of the unit plans, oh, get rid of understand, no, do. That's not there anymore. That's not appropriate, but you know what I mean. So you can always go back and edit this too, by the way. So I've given it a whole lot of information and always iterate until I'm happy with it. Down here, I can actually use Gemini to rewrite these instructions if I'm not happy. Okay. So at the moment, that's what I've put in, and I can start into, ooh, what's it doing? I can start talking to it here if I would like. So I could say, kia ora, oops. and it's going to have a little think. Oh, I stopped the response, sorry. Too busy playing Mortal Kombat with my mouse.
Rach, while it's loading, that little plus at the bottom there, does, by your knowledge, are there other things that we can add to a gem other than a PDF?
Totally. Let's have a click. There we go. Add from Drive, upload images, import any code, and you can add an entire notebook if you want to. So if you've already got a notebook, let's say I want to do a novel study next term, and the novel study I want to do is the Bone Ticky because it's my all-time favorite book. I could add in the notebook that I have collected of all the Bone Ticky information. So you can pull it from, you can add whatever you like. Also photos of, I know that teachers have included photos of their unit plan templates. I know principals that have uploaded templates of their board reports, so it spits it out in the same format. So all of those sorts of things you can add in there as well. So here's my gem talking to me. It's going to say a lot of things. It's going to say what specific text or learning intention are we targeting for this unit. So does anyone want to give me an idea? It's late. Persuasive writing. Okay, no one gave me an idea. Let's do that.
That was exactly what I was going to say, Rachel.
Thanks, Donna. So you can test out your gem in here. You can keep going, do whatever you like. Oh, did it talk to me? And then when you're happy with your gem, you can save it. You can keep talking to it. You can keep iterating until it's perfect. And you can always come back and edit it if you're not happy. So that is a really quick whiz-bang way of creating a gem. We've got heaps and heaps of examples for you later on. So I will now be quiet. Here we go. It's already given me ideas. Kaitiakitanga in action, writing to persuade.
Just before you're quiet, Rachel, can you, I don't either save or not save that gem, whichever you want to do.
Sure.
Can you just show us how, if I thought that gem was awesome and I wanted to be able to use it, how you can share that with me?
Whoop. Back in my gems. Don't know why everything is taking so long. That can go away.
Because it knows you're doing a live demo, that's why.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I can actually make a copy of that and share it with someone, but also here, there's my editing button, and here is my share button. So in here, any of these gems that I've created, I can share with anyone. What we're actually doing at our school is we're creating a book, which is just like a gems book. I can just share it like I would with anything else. So I can share it with Donna, and she can be a viewer or an editor. So Donna can make her own copy if she wants, and then I can just share that with Donna. Done. But we're actually making a text copy, so including the entire prompt, as well as the version that people can actually interact with, so they can have experience working with both sides of it, tweaking the actual prompt to suit their context and their students, or just interacting with it so they can use the gem for their own purposes. That's a quick round in a nutshell. Done.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. While we are sharing the slides back again, does anyone have any questions about creating gems, or you've got a word of wisdom to share with possible your gems that you've done in your kura or that you've used? Okay, so in the slides, there's a quick screenshot there for you to come back to. There's a framework, which is actually a Google framework, that if you have never written a prompt before or you're very new to writing a prompt, the format might help you, giving it a persona, what tasks do you want it to do, what information does it need, and what format do you want the output.
Yeah.
We talked about the pre-made gems. Sorry, Rachel, go.
I can't remember what I was going to say now. Can you go back one?
Yes, I can.
No, must have been before that.
One more.
Oh, I have a gems recipe that I will share with you as well. But another tip is just to ask Gemini to help you create a gem. But I do have a recipe that I'll link in the slides for when we share it out later on. That's what I was going to say. Aroha mai.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Carla. She shared the slides in the chat if you want to access the slides straight away. We've talked about the pre-made gems and also pinning them. So if there's a gem that you find yourself, because the gems will go in time order as you make more. So if there is a gem that you find yourself returning to more often than other gems, you can pin it so that it stays at the top. And so what are some of the examples? So these, Rachel's showing us some examples. My favorite gem I have ever written was the report writing gem, because it saved me so much time at report writing time. Initially, a couple of years ago, when I first shared the idea of a gem, it did not go down well with some people. It opened up a big conversation about, is it cheating? And so we had this discussion around how is it different from a comment bank and sheets. But we're not here to debate whether it is or isn't a good thing. But over time, the gems have got a lot better. And so what we did at school this year was we had some parameters. If people wanted to use a gem for report writing, then we did things like, we have an assessment guideline booklet. We uploaded that whole booklet into the gem. We uploaded past examples of report comments so that it could see the tone and the way that we wrote. We uploaded our style guide, and there was one other document we uploaded. And then what we did was I just brainstormed a list for each student. So what were the main things I wanted to say about each student? And then it formatted it into a beautifully written paragraph for me, which I then went and read and tweaked, and like anything, kept that human in the loop. But it saved me so much time, especially with the punctuation and the grammar and things like that. Just phrasing things the right way was super helpful. So that was a very helpful one. But you can see there's just a massive range. So on the slide deck to share out with you, each one of these images is linked to a slide at the bottom, but these are all examples from a Google session earlier this year, where it shows you the prompt, where to put them, what gives you ideas of what knowledge you might upload. And you can see that there are also some here, if you have an administrative role as well, you can build administrative things. Rachel is putting some great comments in the chat, but I'm not actually going to read them because she's going to share in a moment, and she will be able to add on to what she has shared for us. Alex Galland, who has Gemini, has to be unblocked though. Is it blocked at your school, Glenn? It does have to be turned on in the console, yes, for sure.
Yeah, we have it blocked, but we can unblock it if we need to. But I just find
right.
It's strange how in YouTube you can have it blocked at school, but share a YouTube and it works in classroom, but not a gem. So I'm hoping that's something one day they'll change.
Right, so you could block gems, but share a gem through a classroom and it would still work.
Yeah, so like for that writing sample, I think that'd be quite good.
So for 13 plus, you can turn it on. At the moment, I think it's turned off by default, so you have to turn it on in your admin console.
Yeah, we just turn it on and off with Hapara.
Right. Can you turn it on for teachers but off for students, or are you talking about with students, like your students are using
it's on for teachers, off for students, but we can turn it on and off for students with Hapara.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to be able to do it. If you know Alex Galland, who works at Google, she shared this gem instruction, which was all around if you wanted a gem that could act as a fictional character or act as a historical figure, and then the responses that it gave would be in the tone and voice of that character. So that was just another interesting one that you could set up. I know there's lots of different thinking around whether we really want students to be reading in the tonal voice of a person who's passed, because how do we know that that's what that person would have said or done? But I think if it's something you do want to do, then it's the way that you frame it with the students around telling them that it's AI and telling them that this is what it's done, so that you're developing that AI literacy with your students at the same time. This image is linked on the slides when you get it. Chris Hart, who's also at Google, this is his Jarvis. And Jarvis is essentially your personal assistant, and Jarvis will do literally anything you ask Jarvis to do. The prompt is about 5 pages long. It's amazing. Like, the detail in this prompt just blew me away. But once you've got it up and running, you can ask Jarvis essentially anything. So I quite like that idea that you could have one gem to do multiple things for you with this amazing prompt. So that was just another example that I threw in there. And I am now going to stop talking and hand over to Rachel, and she's going to share with us some ways that they've used GEM in their school. And we are super grateful for Rachel sharing, because we know that it's not easy to put yourself out there in front of your colleagues and to share on a recorded webinar. And so we are incredibly grateful that she has been courageous and has agreed to share some of her wonderful gems with us. So thank you, Rachel. I'm going to stop talking, and you just let me know when you'd like me to switch the slides.
Cool. Excuse me if you can't hear me very well. I've actually come home sick today, so just threw this together. But this time, I'm a many-time participant and first time tonight presenting. So here I go. This time last year, I knew nothing about GEMS, but I was fortunate to take part in the AI Fellowship, and I did my project around Gemini GEMS, and I now have a whole stack. Not all written by me. I've borrowed and stolen and reused a lot, particularly from Eric Kurtz, who you'll see in a slide later. He's got some, but I just wanted to share some that I've been working with and I use quite a lot. This one here is, in maths, you often want those open, rich, deep tasks, and who's got the time to think of those of an evening when you're really buggered after a day's teaching? So I've just put the whole prompt there, but basically this GEM will create a rich open task for any area of mathematics. So you'll see there under the knowledge, I've uploaded a PDF of different types of rich tasks. So the GEM knew what sort of things I was looking for. I also uploaded the Phase 3 New Zealand Curriculum Maths and some other screenshots of rich tasks there. Then all I have to do is put in the area of maths that I want it to create for me. So I've put 2 links there that you're welcome to click in and have a look at. The Matariki Market is one that I'm actually going to do on Friday. And the Smoothie Challenge is one that I did last year. And it was what I used to start my unit on ratios with my year 7 and 8s. And they loved it. And it was so great because it was that low floor, high ceiling task that met everybody's needs. And I had some very capable mathematicians in year 8, and they just flew with it. So yeah, this is a great one, and I just use it often. I just jump in, next maths unit, right, create me a rich task about blah blah blah. Next slide, Donna. The next one is, I really wanted some mathematics word problems that were related to our context here in Central Otago. So again, I just created a GEM and asked it to create me some word problems. I uploaded my Phase 3 New Zealand curriculum again, and every time I put in the context that I wanted, I have some word problems that are connected for my students. So once again, I've linked one there, but there's a problem there around the Clyde Dam, which is local to us here in Alexandra, and another one about, I think it's throwing a stone on the ice in somewhere, Aotearoa. But again, it's local concepts, so our kids can relate to it. I don't want to be giving a word problem about something they've got no prior knowledge about, and so it's meaningful to them. So I pull this one out a lot. And last year, when I was an ALM facilitator working with a small group of students who required some extension, acceleration, I particularly did word problems that connected to their hobbies and interests. So one of the boys in my groups that was football mad, he loved it. And every day I would have a word problem that connected to one of them. And they were like, is it me today? Is it me today? So, but so easy because I had the GEM there. So I just opened it up, popped it in, and out came the word problems. And there's one more, which I just have used recently. You know, we know how crammed our curriculum is, and we're trying to cover everything. So at the moment in my classroom, we are studying renewable energy, and particularly wind energy. And so I created an integration expert did I create this? Maybe someone else did and I stole it. I don't know. Anyway, I have it. I've probably titivated it. And I wanted to have some options of where I could integrate this across the curriculum. So you can just see there in the little box there, it came up with, I have in my knowledge, I copied and pasted all the level 4 New Zealand curriculum objectives just into a Google Doc. And again, my NZC Maths Phase 3. So I uploaded that knowledge. So that was sitting there. And then I have these amazing, which I wouldn't have even thought of some of these things, activities that connected. And obviously once the gem was built, it went into detail of how and what I might do in each of these areas. But I just wanted to show you that up came science, maths, tech, social sciences, Aotearoa New Zealand histories, more maths, digitech, music, health and PE, that debate about wind farms. And so we're looking at healthy communities and that strand of the health and PE curriculum. So honestly, I have so many gems. There's so many ways you can use them, but I just thought those 3 gave a little insight into how just the everyday classroom teacher might be able to use them and how you can use them again and again and again and again, just different context. So yeah, over and out.
Amazing. Thank you, Rachel. And especially as you're not feeling well, we are super appreciative that you still shared with us tonight. Thank you so much. Yes, Michael, you cannot do anything about gems without mentioning Eric Kurtz. So if you've never come across Eric Kurtz before, can somebody I'll do a Rach trick. Give me a thumbs up if you've never heard of Eric Kurtz. Oh, also, we've all heard of him, and so I'm assuming that you all know his website, edugems.ai. I think I got an email yesterday to say that 12 more gems have been added to his site. It is just a massively quickly growing repository of these amazing gems that are shared, not created just by him, but educators around the world. So he has a form on his site. Yeah, he is mean board gamer. Thank you, Michael. He has a Google form. So if you have an idea for a gem, so Rachel, maybe a couple of those gems that you've just shared, you might want to submit on the form. He goes through, kind of rewrites them so that they're in the same format of all the other gems that are on there, and then he publishes those as well. So you can see on his site, this is a screenshot down here, and there is a filterable way of navigating the site as it grows larger and larger. But if you want to start with a gem and you're not really sure what you might do, then looking at Eric's website is a really good place to start. And who knew that gems is now on docs? Did we all know that? Give me a thumbs up if you knew that you could access gems inside Google Docs. Give me did anyone not know that you could access them? Or we are all just near the end of the term. So on the sidebar, so with Docs, you've got this little Gemini in the corner. And if you open your Gemini bar, now it says gems here, but there's actually 3 lines in your gem sidebar. You click on those 3 lines and you get an option to go to your gems. And then once you click on your gems, you'll see your most recent ones at the top. But there's also an option that will say see all gems, and you can scroll through all of your gems and go back, Steve, through all of your gems, and then you can use that gem right next to your doc. So you can put in what you want it to do, and then the output is right there to put into your doc. So that might be something that you want to play with the next time that you're in a Google Doc and you think, oh yeah, I could do a gem for this. You can see I use my number talk activity one quite a lot, and it just goes straight into the docs. Saves me heaps of time. No prizes for guessing what comes next.
Please welcome Steve, who will be a regular guest sharing his top 2 Google updates with us.
Alrighty, Steve, are you here? I'm sure I saw him there. Steve.
I think he might have been and gone maybe then if you saw him.
It's Steve. Maybe he's not here.
I think he triple booked himself, to be fair.
Yeah, if I click on the number of people, he says he's here. But anyway, as you can see, he's not had time to throw in any updates. But anyone got a quick update or something that they have seen recently that they didn't know was there the last time they looked? This is like
A couple of new things is I think you've already shared it on LinkedIn, Donna, is the organising your sources inside Notebook LM, and that sources have now updated to 100 sources. It was previously 50 sources.
Yeah, so you can actually now group, but I think it's only come to some accounts at the moment because I know I have it in one but not in the other.
Okay.
But it is coming. If you've got 5 sources or more, you can group them under a tab. I can do that in my personal. I currently can't do that in my school account. You can now in Slides and Notebook, you can download it as a PowerPoint and then open it as a slide.
As a what?
Oh yeah, sorry. I know
Sorry.
it is slightly ironical that you can download it as a PowerPoint, but you can. So I thought that was quite interesting. And I don't know, every time I open my Gemini, the actual layout of the chat appears to be different. So yours may or may not be different. So we'll just move on from updates and Steve can throw some in when he gets a chance. These were the questions that we had this week, this month. There was a question around using gems effectively and getting it to work. And so I'm hoping that if that person who wrote that has been on the call, that tonight's call has helped them. If not, if you're watching the recording, then hopefully hearing what people have been talking about might help you with getting it to work the way you want it to work. I have added on a link. Somebody asked for information about visual arts, but not Google Arts and Culture. I just added a link there to a page that's got a whole lot of really cool websites for visual arts. And, oh, you said thank you. Awesome. Can you hear? That's fantastic. I'm thinking awesome to that question. And there was just a question that said Canva and Google Link. I did see last week that Canva is now integrated in Gemini and that you can just do @Canva and put your prompt in and then it'll make whatever you want and then it'll take you straight to Canva. I don't currently have that in mind. Does anyone have that integration? Maybe it's something that hasn't quite reached New Zealand yet, but I did read that Canva and Gemini are going to be linked and integrated, and you will be able to access Canva from your from Gemini. I'm thinking that's what that might be about. Anybody want to throw in anything else about any of those 3? Oh, of course it has, Jordan. Of course you've got it. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot, Jordan. Can you unmute and tell us how the Canva Gemini integration works?
It's in mine too, Donna.
Oh, so not fair. All right. Right, go Jordan, tell us.
Trying to turn my camera on, it's not working. Oh, there you go. Hello. No, I literally just typed @Canva and it popped up and now it's asking for permission. So that's as far as I've got, literally right now. That's it.
Oh, cool. Have you tried it, Rachel?
Yep, so when you type @ you will get a whole lot of different options. If you don't even have to put Canva, just the @
Okay.
and I type that in. I have got create new Flashlight Flash Pro, then I've got calendar, keep, tasks, Gmail, docs, drive, and if I click more, Canva is definitely one of them. It's going to let me scroll. Yep. Google Photos, Canva, and then my entire workspace. So I can connect my entire workspace as well. So when I click on Canva, oh, I need to move you guys out of the way. Let's see what happens. I think it might just talk to it somehow.
Okay.
Oh, yep. So it's just initiating an interaction with my user. Hi, we've got Canva. This is what you can do. You can generate new designs, searching templates, let me know what you have in mind. So it's connected to my Canva account and I can just interact with it inside Gemini, tell it what I want to create.
Very exciting. I'm going to look out for that. Of course, I don't have it. I've just thrown in a couple of, so in the chat bar, so when, Tanga here, when you open Gemini and you've got that chat bar that says, hey, welcome, what do you want to do? In there, just where you would normally write a prompt, if you type @ there as the first thing that you type in that prompt chat section, that's where you will see those integrations and the things that you can do. Does that make sense? Just throw in a couple of interesting readings around if you want to go to some more Google information on how to build custom experts with gems, or how to create and manage AI mini apps or custom workflows. There's gems from Google Labs. There's a couple of other places that you can go for information there. And I'm going to stop talking, and Rachel is going to tell you about something very exciting that we have coming for you in term 3.
Okay, team. So in term 3, we are going to be running a nationwide Google Vids competition. We will be doing a future GEG on Google Vids for you to teach you how to use it. But what we would like to do is roll it out to all age groups. We're twisting some arms for some prizes. So if you've got any peeps that you can shoulder tap and help us out with that, that would be amazing. We'll send you out a whole lot of more information. But what we're wanting to do is really encourage people to use the amazing tool of Google Vids, which is inside your Google Workspace. If you've never used it before, please open it and have a play. It is so cool. And I really wish that I was in the classroom more so I could use it. I'm actually getting my kids to do their persuasive speeches through Google Vids and using the teleprompter inside there as well, which is fantastic. So those kids that are a little bit shy about doing their speech can also record it. But anything goes. We've got a few key words that you can attach to any sort of concept that you are teaching, but I don't want to give too much away. We just want to let your creative juices start to flow. There's a teachers section. So if you're really one of those competitive people and you want to put something amazing together, get thinking.
Thank you, Rachel. We're very excited about this. We are going to have different age bands so that we're going to try and make it as fair as possible. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, team, we did say that the student vids will be made with no AI, but the teachers can go crazy if they want to use some AI. Not too crazy. Okay. So Jordan has just asked Canva to create a poster about the sun, and it did it for her. Made it in Canva with fix, colors, clip art. Wow, that's awesome. And then it takes you straight into Canva. Okay, I just will need to wait patiently for it to appear in my account. But hopefully that's what that question might have been about in the chat. Okay.
We would love your feedback to help us create mid-evening GEG shows that work for you.
So even though we have no Steve, yeah, Carla, that's awesome. Easily editable without hit and miss magic layers. That's going to be such a good step forward. Even though we have no Steve, we are still going to give away swag. So here is the link to the feedback form. Somebody will copy that and paste it in the chat maybe. Thank you. Somebody that has access to the slide, if you could pop that in the chat. We will give you a few minutes to fill out the feedback form, and then we will draw some names, and we will give away swag. We will just take your emails, and then we will email Steve, and he will be in touch with you around how he will share out to the winners. So thank you, Carla, who just posted the feedback link in the slide, so you can, in the chat, so you can just click on that, go straight to there, and we'll give you a few minutes to fill that in. And we should have some music playing. We should have got Gemini to make us some music. There is a QR code that you can scan as well if you want to just do it quickly on your phone. There's a QR code as well.
Have you figured out the magic number, Donna, for the embedded Canva AI for how many designs it will let you do before, how many prompts it will let you do before cutting off? I hit 7 before it cut me off because I was incredibly disappointed with its outputs.
Oh, okay. I don't even have it yet, so I can't even try. I imagine that over time it'll probably get better as everything else has, but yeah.
And
I do
keep in mind that as it iterates, it uses a prompt to allow it to be editable, So if you iterate beyond a version where you just wanted a tweak and then it gets progressively worse, as in my experience, when you revert back to the previous one that you're like minorly satisfied with, it is uneditable. So that is an additional prompt within the Canva AI. Sorry, we're on a Google call, aren't we? But the integration's there.
Right.
It will go back to an uneditable single image version. So I'll be really interested in those of you that have had a bit of a play with Canva AI and just how it's comparing. I'm getting better results by creating my output elsewhere and then inputting it into Canva and using magic layers, but it doesn't like details.
Those are some good tips, Carla. Thank you. All right, we currently have quite a few names. I'll just skip what we've got: 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 9, 10. So we'll just wait one more minute. I think we might actually have most of the names. I discovered the other day that I didn't realize that the students, our Year 7s and up, currently have access to Gemini in their student account. They can create an image using Gemini. They can ask it to create an image, but they cannot ask it to edit that image. If they wanted to make edits, they had to do a whole new prompt and do a whole new image.
Yes, we discovered that this week too, Donna, as Carla's daughter found out, much to her frustration, and we had to try and find a workaround. But, you know, these things are sent to try us, and we just got to keep working away. After I had shown them with my Gemini version how they could reiterate and reprompt, and then they couldn't do that.
We used it as because it was a learning curve. I'd done exactly the same, Rachel. I'd modeled it. I had shown them, you know, how you could continue the conversation. So then we turned it around and said, okay, if you can't do that, then you have to be much more specific with your prompt in the first place. So we turned it into a lesson in being very specific with our prompting, which I thought was a good save on my part. All right. We have 12 names. I'm going to copy the names. Somebody can tell me how many names are we going to draw? I know we usually do 3, but Steve's not here, so
12.
what are we doing, people? Are we going to be brave, or are we just going to do 3?
Let's go. Let's just go 4. I'll donate one of my Google things if Steve won't come.
I'm with Glenn and Alina. We just go 12, I reckon.
Yeah. I love that. I can't see the chat at the moment, so I love it. All right, I have actually gone 4. All right, I'm going to pick names. All right, first winner is Glenn. Well done, Glenn. If you could email someone who's emailed, like one of us, 3 of us, if you've got our email, and we'll make sure that Steve gets these. And we've got listen to me. We've got your emails. Carla and Rachel, if you can write the names down, we can pass them on to Steve. Right, name number 2 is Donna Yates. So congratulations, Glenn. Congratulations, Donna. Our number 3 is Tanga here. Congratulations. And number 4, is covered by my screen. Katia. I hope I said that right. So congratulations to those 4 people. You are our swag winners for this week. I might actually just take a screenshot of that so that we can post it without seeing everyone else's names.
I've marked them.
Okay.
Donna.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rachel. So we will just get Rachel to close. Oops, what's going on here? Close for us. I think that's Steve again. We'll just get rid of him. All right. I'm going to take my hands off.
Kia whakaria te tapu, kia wātia ai te ara, kia turuki whakataha ai, kia turuki whakataha ai, haumie huie tai kie.
Thanks, Rachel. I'll stop the recording and stop the transcribing. Great to have